Hello, Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive. Welcome to another Demystify the Divine weekly readings and tools to connect. So happy to have you all here. Happy Monday. John, my moderator, and I were just kind of talking about how Monday is kind of an interesting energy, and he was, sort of commenting on why is everything always going south on Monday? Everything works well for the rest of the week. Why is it Monday? And he brought up a good point. He said, maybe it's that we've just put so much of this emphasis in the collective conscious about how Mondays suck that we need to, sort of reverse that and redo that. So it was a very interesting little chat that we had, and I loved it. So I thought I would talk about it a little bit today, because I feel like that really is the truth. When we get in our heads these limiting beliefs, and it's a limiting belief that the whole collective holds on to, it really becomes our reality. But we have the power to shift it. We have the power to change it and undo it. So I'm going to own this happy Monday, and I'm going to say, yay, it's a Monday, and I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to be here with all of you. And if it is sort of the beginning of your work week, and you got, 5 days to go or 6 days to go or whatever it is, don't focus on where things are at, moving forward. Don't focus on the what ifs and it's going to feel like forever when I get to Friday. Focus on where's the joy in my life right now? Where's the joy in this moment right now? Because this is a happy Monday. It's a day like any other day, and there's always joy to be had. So let's embrace the joy.
And to Stacey's credit, the wealth of positivity and energy she is, she tried to get me on that positive track. And Ebenezer scrooged her by saying, bah humbug.
That's okay. You know what, John? I often do that myself, where I get into bah humbug. In fact, I did it the other day to a friend. I forget exactly what the scenario was, but, she said something, well, we can do blah, 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 and this and that instead. And I was like, I'm not doing it. Screw you. Like, I was so in that. And then I laughed, and I was like, okay, just kidding. Just kidding. But, we're all human. This is what we're here to do. We're here to have these human experiences. And so we got to laugh at ourselves. We can't take life so seriously all the time, because there's so much that we could take seriously. So let's shift it up. All right. Oh, I'm grabbing my cards, and I haven't even done the word of the week yet. So let's tap into the word of the week, and let's sort of set an intention. I want to say for this week, the energies have been a little wonky. And so we all could really just use, I want to say, some peace, some peace in our lives, a little bit of flow, and I want to say a little bit of consistency. So let's set the intention that this week, and maybe we can even just sort of throw it out there into the collective conscious, that this week bring some peace, some consistency to all of our lives, no matter what the message is, no matter what's going on. Let's see what that is. So word of the week, and lately it's been phrase of the week. So we'll see what they come through with. I'm going to be quiet right now and see what comes through. Reaping rewards for what you sow. So we got a phrase of the week again. Reaping rewards for what you sow. I'm feeling like the message that's coming through for all of us to consider this week is being aware of, when we talk about reaping rewards for what we sow, we're talking about, okay, seeds that we have planted. This is not a seed that you're currently planting, although you could apply it to that as well. But this is seeds that you have planted. You're reaping rewards. So I feel like this week is really a time where you're going to notice that you're getting, the fruits of your labor. You're going to start to notice that there are some resolutions to things that Maybe you've been waiting for a while for that resolution, or you've put a lot of work into something and now it's finally starting to show up. It's starting to blossom and bloom and grow. And I'm hearing that it's important that everyone be really intentionally aware of what is showing up in your world so that you can reap the rewards. You can stop and smell the roses. Too often we are running around like chickens with our heads cut off. Too often we are looking at the, we're barely reaching the goal that we've been, barely on it. Like, I don't mean barely reaching it as in we're never going to reach it. I mean, we've just, basically touched on the goal that we've been working so hard to achieve, and we're already on to the next goal. And it's kind of like, okay, well, why did you want to get to this place? Like, let's enjoy this place first, and stop and smell the roses. Enjoy what you have worked hard to achieve rather than always being ready for the next race. And so I feel like for each of us this week, it's really making sure that you're being intentional about taking a minute, not rushing so far ahead, not pushing yourself, not worrying about the, the dreaded to-do list and checking things off. It can be satisfying to check things off, but sometimes that's not the purpose of it, right? What is the purpose of why we do the things that we do? What is it that we are working towards, and why are we working towards it? What is it that we want to gain out of that? Well, we can work so hard that we end up surpassing it. So this week, it's reaping rewards for what you sow, understanding that this is a time where there's going to be resolution, conclusion, there's going to be growth, there's going to be, I want to say, bursting forth of a, an improvement on something, or, oh my God, we had a breakthrough, and let's celebrate the breakthrough. Let's feel into that, because we're going to be able to take that feeling, that energy, that emotion, that why, and we're going to be able to apply it forward eventually to the next goals, the next dreams, or the next phases or stages. But you want to be able to take advantage of, oh, I'm present right now, and I'm going to say yes to this exciting thing that I've worked so hard for, rather than always looking ahead. So reaping rewards for what you sow. Also, there's a message in here I feel about making sure, and I talk about this a lot, making sure that you're pure of thought and pure of feeling. Because when we are speaking, words have energy. They carry weight. They carry power. You want to make sure that the words that you're speaking, the rewards that you're, the seeds that you've sown, the words that you're speaking around these rewards, what you sow is important. And if you're sowing a seed that's, a bad seed, it's not going to come up in the way that you want it to. It's not going to grow to its full potential. So you want to be aware of what you're actually putting out into the universe. What seeds are you sowing? Why are you sowing them? Be clear, be pure of thought and pure of feeling. Otherwise, you're going to manifest some fear, or you're going to manifest some frustration, or you're going to manifest some obligation. We don't want any of that. We want to manifest the experience, and we want to manifest the joy that comes in the experience. Sometimes the joy is the experience. Sometimes the joy is the process or the path to the experience, but there's joy to be had wherever we look. We just have to look for it. All right, so grabbing our tarot deck, and today, for our first card pull of the day, we are pulling cards from Barbara Moore's Shadowscapes deck. I always love this deck. This is quite a whimsical deck. Very, very pretty imagery, kind of fairy-like and fantastical. Oh my goodness. Okay, this card has been coming up a lot. It was in our new moon musings as well. The Strength card. So this week, especially when we're talking about sort of reaping rewards for what we are sowing and taking time to enjoy those rewards, it's also about going within. When we talk about the Strength card for me really represents a lot of inner child stuff that it talks about. It talks about our empowerment, embracing our true being, embracing our true core aspect. And when we're talking about that inner child work, it's also understanding that we have the strength within us because we are divine beings of light. We are a spark of the divine, which means that we are divine. We forget this a lot. We give away our power. We throw it here and there and everywhere, or we live in fear many times that, oh, what if this happens, and what if that happens, and what if the other thing happens, never considering, well, what if it happens? I can do this, and I've got this strength and this skill ahead of me, and I can step into this energy. And we forget the role that we play in our own lives. So this week, I feel like the message for us, especially when we're talking about, sort of reaping rewards, it's being able to say, okay, if I'm taking a pause and I'm going to take the time to really pay attention to what's in my world right now and take advantage of that feeling, take advantage of that success, I'm also going to store it up in my solar plexus chakra. And the solar plexus chakra is here in our abdomen, in our midriff. It's the seat of our identity, mastery, personal power, co-creation. We can store energy in our bodies. Our bodies are a vehicle to get us from A to B. And like any vehicle, we can put, suitcases in there. We can put suitcases of energy in there. We can leave stuff in our cars, almost like a storage unit. You can leave a bunch of stuff in there if you need it to access it, right? It's the same thing with our bodies. And energy. We can store up our energy. Any of the excitement that we get from these rewards that we are enjoying, let's take that energy and store it up for later, because there is a lot coming down the pipe for us. And I want to say the next couple of months are going to continue to be a little bit up and down energetically. We're going to notice a lightening of things overall, but generally speaking, this is the energy that we're in. This is the energy of 2022. And you want to be able to say, I don't want to waste any of the energy that shows up in my now, because I can always use it moving forward. It's kind of like reduce, reuse, recycle. It's that kind of concept with our energy. So this week, I feel like the strength card is also saying, no matter what it is that you've got going on, always take a little bit, take 10% of your energy and put it in reserve. So maybe you're not giving 150% this week. Maybe you're giving 140. Maybe you're just giving 100. Maybe all you have to give is 80. And so you're going to actually give 65 because you want to save up and store up that 15% for later, for tomorrow or the day after, because you've got a heavier day, or you've got some things, coming down the pike that you are wanting to make sure that you have extra energy to be able to bring your A game. So I feel like some priorities, the strength card is coming up here as well to say, make some priorities around where you're putting your energy, and understand that, again, we are living in the present moment. We're not living in the future. As we said, with, reaping rewards for what we sow, but it is understanding that, that seed that you planted is going to need rain, not just the very first day that it's planted. It's going to need rain several times, over the next 6 weeks until it's able to, really find its footing and find the strength to push itself out of the ground, and come into the light. So you want to think of yourself like a little plant. You want to think of yourself as that seed that is growing. And what are the things that you're going to need? What are the resources that you have? Also with this card, and what I love about this particular depiction is you've got this beautiful woman. She's not an angel. She doesn't have wings, but she's surrounded by all of her animal friends, and including the lion. And the lion is the top of the food chain, right? Nothing can harm a lion in the grand scheme of things. And unless, of course, there's illness or something like that. But so I feel like it's also about understanding that we are harnessing the innate power that is part of the, I want to say, the nature collective, the fact that we are all a part of this ecosystem. We're a part of this world. We like to think that we are separate and better than. That's the ego, that is sort of taken over, but it's not actually the case. We are all one with all of the critters of the earth, all of the plants and the sun and, the oceans and all of the elements. So I feel like this is also a message to say, we are all small and insignificant, and therefore rare and precious, and pay attention to where the ego is at, pay attention to, what you're taking on, and maybe what you shouldn't be taking on right now, because it's not really conducive to reaping rewards for what you're sowing, or it's not conducive to taking some time to decide what is required or what is needed in the moment. Interesting message. I mean, they're all interesting. I swear to God, I don't watch my videos unless I have to like edit them. But every once in a while, when I have to go back and watch a video, I'm like, how many times can I say the same word over and over and over again, Stacey? Like, really, seriously, like, come up with something new and different. But honestly, it's just how I feel. It's like Spock. It's fascinating. And he always says it, fascinating. Like, for me, it's interesting, apparently. All right, so our Oracle deck that we are pulling from this week is the Magical Dimensions Oracle deck from Lightstar. And while these cards are very whimsical and fantastical in sort of a cartoony way, these are whimsical and fantastical in a more, I want to say a more realistic way, but also kind of, I can't think of the right word thing here, but I'm hearing like artsy fartsy. It's a little bit modern artsy fartsy. So, here. Oh, I love it. We got Sacral Portal, creativity, intimacy, and inhibition. So I was just talking about the solar plexus chakra. The sacral chakra is the second chakra. It comes, or actually it's considered number 2, but it's actually number 3 in the 12-star chakra. Sorry, I just had to do a little bit of math in my head and visualize it in my head.
Stacey,
yeah.
You know, my spelling is terrible and you keep wiggling the card around.
So sacral portal. So SACRAL and portal.
I got you.
Awesome. He's so funny. He's always worried about the spelling. I'm like, I don't care. I just keep talking. La, la, la. So I love that these two cards have shown up together. So we were talking about solar plexus chakra energy, and now we're talking about sacral chakra energy. These are two chakras that are together. And of course, all the chakras work in concert with one another. But the sacral and the solar plexus are very much part of our sort of our foundation for how we're able to sort of, you know, express ourselves out into the world. So creativity, intimacy, and inhibition is what's on this card as well. And sacral is sexuality, sensuality, creative expression, and flow, and it's the ocean of our emotion. And I love that this card depicts both the sacral and the solar plexus chakra together, the yellow and the orange. So the message that we're getting here this week is, yes, we are working on the ego space. We're working on our solar plexus chakras, but in order to actually really be able to discern between the ego voice and the intuitive guidance, we have to be able to feel into what we are experiencing. It's not a head game. It's not going into the mind. It's not going into our thoughts. It's more the feeling space. How am I feeling? And yeah, there are a lot of us people out there in the world that don't automatically connect with the heart. We don't feel things first. We come at things from our head space. It's not saying this week that you're wrong. It's not saying that you do things bad or you do life bad by doing that. What it's saying is you've got to get into the feeling space this week in order to be able to truly reap the rewards for what you're sowing. Otherwise, you're sowing your head that you're missing the moment. You're missing the experience. You're missing the excitement. And when we are talking about the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, I feel like this week they're also working in concert with one another. They're supporting each other. So sacral chakra is saying, hey, solar plexus, I got your back, front, sides, bottom, and top. You know, I got you. I got your ego and I got your soul flame. And we can work together. And as long as you feel me, as long as you know I'm there, as long as you connect to my sensation, as long as you recognize that your ocean of emotion is talking to you, it's moving, it's flowing, it's a live being, it's a live presence within you. As long as you're recognizing that and acknowledging that, the solar plexus is very much balanced and in alignment, and you're able to take action steps and sort of move forward into the message of this week, which is I'm safe enough and secure enough to be able to enjoy the fruits of my labor. I have to go within in order to access that. But when I go within, I'm solid. I'm good because I have a solid foundation. My ocean of emotion feels really good. I'm not letting myself be capsized by my fears and my feelings. I'm in a very creative space. And I want to say that, and this is connected to solar plexus chakra as well. We are walking, excuse me, we are walking creations. We are walking manifestations. Every step we take out into the world is a creation of sorts. Every step, in essence, is a decision. Every step is a choice. And through that, we are creating our lives. We're creating it every step we take. So you want to be aware of this. You want to acknowledge this. And in some ways, I feel like as well, when we're talking about reaping rewards for what we sow, it's also a beautiful gift to understand that I'm creating the world that I'm living in. I'm creating the world at large, and I'm also creating the world that is my environment, the world that is my, the people that I choose to hang out with and the experiences that I am having. It's a beautiful gift that every step I take creates something new. Something else that's popping into my head is with every breath that we take, we become a new version of ourselves. Our cellular structure, our cells in our body, and I'm not a sciencey person, so forgive me on this. I could be completely wrong on this, but I know that our cells regenerate, and I believe it's every 24 hours that our cells regenerate. So if you think about that, it's like every day I'm a new person. Even if the cells regenerated every hour, that means every hour you have the opportunity to be somebody different because your cells are different. Perhaps the cells are sort of doing things at different times, recreating themselves at different times. So then there's different aspects of you that are changing and growing at different times. So there's all sorts of factors. You want to pay attention to this, and you want to understand this and utilize this to your advantage. It's very much about I'm reaping rewards for what I sow by being present and enjoying what's in my now. And I'm also understanding that this now is never going to come again. So what do I want to do with it? How do I want to make the most of it? How do I want to feel into it and allow it to empower my next steps? Because my next steps are going to create the path that I'm on. They're going to create the energy and the environment through which I'm choosing to grow and to learn and to expand into those new experiences, those new goals. So a lot of messaging around presence this week, enjoying what's in your now, and understanding that everything that is in your now, you are co-creating it. And how are you co-creating it? By having pure thoughts and pure feelings. You're co-creating what you really want. If your thoughts and your feelings are not pure and you're not balanced in this way, you're going to co-create experiences that maybe you don't want so much. So be aware of that. Pure of thought, pure of feeling. Also, the number on the Sacral Portal card is 34. So 3, creation, collaboration. 4, foundational, work and effort that goes into creating a new foundation. So I am creating a new foundation, and I am being conscious about the work and the effort that's going into this. And what is the result going to be? The result is going to be a beautiful divine number 7, which is I've got a beautiful prototype right now. I am manifesting, I'm getting ready to manifest into the physical this beautiful vision that I have. I have worked hard to create the prototype of the original thought. And now, before I put this prototype into mass production, this is the time to make sure that, I dot all my I's and cross all my T's, that I make sure that it is pure of thought, that it is pure of feeling, that it is going to serve what it is that I originally wanted it to serve. And if it's not, this is the time to go back to the drawing board, because once it goes out into mass production, there's a whole hell of a lot of it, and I have no choice but to face it or to deal with it. So 7 is a beautiful place to be, because you are in an open space of manifesting, but you have that one last chance to double and triple check everything before you put it out into the universe and say, all right, universe, bring it on, bring it into me. So beautiful energy. We all are in a very co-creative manifesting space this week. And the way that we're doing that is by stopping and smelling the roses and saying, here's what I've already manifested. I'm going to take joy in this because I've learned a lot about it. And as I experience the joy, I'm pure of feeling. And then I am ready to be able to take all of this pure of feeling, pure of thought, pure joy, and I'm able to apply it to the next thing that I'm manifesting and co-creating. Woo! All right, pulling a feather from the feather jar. And we have, oh my God. So we keep getting the same feather. And I swear to you, the feather jar has a ton of feathers. And I just close my eyes and pick. We have fairy magic. And I think that's funny because I also talk about the Shadowscapes tarot deck as being quite fantastical and fairy-like. So I feel like the fairy magic is coming through today, giving us all, giving us all support to sort of approach our lives and approach our choices and approach this co-creation. You know, every step that we take is a choice, and we're creating something new with that choice, that we want to be fairy-like with it. We want to sprinkle the pixie dust on it. We want to be magical, allow ourselves to not be, I want to say, so rooted in the 3D. We want to allow ourselves to be able to, I want to say, imagine and think higher and think brighter about a lot of things, because A, it's just more fun, and B, fun breeds more fun, breeds more joy. And C, I feel like there's so much, I was talking about this at the beginning, there's so much in the world going on right now that can keep us heavy or can keep us weighed down. I mean, it doesn't take very, very much effort to look for something that's going to weigh you down. Fairy magic is coming up to say, let's take a different approach. You know, it's not that we're burying our heads in the sand or dismissing or ignoring these horrible things that are happening. It's that we're recognizing that we have to take the fairy approach to it, because that's how it lightens our frequency in the collective as well as in our own lives. And so it really is about a higher frequency. Not even so much about, you know, the higher frequency shows us the different paths and, you know, the purpose of all of it. That's all true. But I feel like it's more about just allowing that frequency to keep us higher, to not feel like you're bogged down by everything that's going on. That's what helps us to manifest into our now and into our reality what it is that we want, not what we don't want. So the fairies are coming up to help us out with that. All right, it's grab your deck time. Let's have some card pull fun. And I am honored to be able to help each of you to be able to find a way to interpret your own cards for yourself and your own messages. So I'm going to, while you're grabbing your decks, I'm going to kind of close my eyes and see what questions we want to ask for our card pull prompts this week to help us to be able to bring the general message more, I want to say, into your individual space, how you can apply it and make it work for you. Okay, so the first question that we're going to pull is, what card helps you to apply more fairy magic into your life this week? I think it's interesting that it was coming through about the feather. So they're wanting to address the feather this week. What card helps you to apply more fairy magic into your life? And the second card pull is, what card offers support to your inner child this week? Okay, so I'll get the ball rolling here. And I'm going to pull a tarot card for the what card helps me to apply more fairy magic into my life this week. And this is the one that's standing out to me. Ooh, I think I got this last week too. King of Wands. So wands is all about energy, fire, passion. This is connection to spirit, connection to our soul space and our soul energy. And think fire sign, right? This is fire sign energy. So King of Wands, mastery of the energy. So what's going to help me to sort of apply more fairy magic into my life this week? It's really going to be mastering my energy. And this makes a lot of sense. I'm a highly creative person, but there are times when I need some downtime. I need to check where my energy is going. I need to check and make sure that I have enough energy. I might want to be creative, but my body is needing rest. And so I'm going to push through something or push out something that, maybe I'm like, okay, I was creative, but then the question is, why was I being creative? What was the purpose of that? Was the purpose for the creative flow, or was the purpose because I felt like I had to be creative in that moment instead of listening to what my body needs? So the fairy magic, it's basically saying, listen to the body, pay attention to your energy levels, because that's going to help you to be more fairy-like. And this makes a lot of sense. If we think about fairy energy and Tinkerbell, she doesn't do anything she doesn't want to do. Right? If she feels like, no, it's not the time to, hop from flower to flower, I'm not going to do it. And that's just the way it is. So I feel like this is how I'm going to be able to apply fairy magic, is really being aware of and mastering my energy so that I'm not putting it out into the world in ways that are not going to come back to me, or not going to serve myself. Because if I'm not serving myself in those ways, I can't serve the collective. And that's the King's energy, right? Mastery and leadership. So I need to embrace that in order to, I want to say, have the energy that I need to be able to live out in the world. And I'm going to pull an oracle card today for my second question. My second question is, what card offers a support to my inner child? I got the throat portal. Speak your truth, courage, and suppression. And it's a number 4. So I feel like for me, this is about me speaking my truth. So when I am supporting my inner child, when I'm doing some of that inner child work and sort of stepping into the strength of, who I am, and accessing that, I want to say, that inner wisdom and that inner guidance, it's important that I speak it out. And that doesn't necessarily mean I have to shout it from the rooftops and tell the whole world I'm going to do this and I'm not going to do that, or here's how I feel. But we can speak the energy of how we are feeling through our actions. And I feel like that's what this is saying, is support your inner child through your actions in relation to following the heart space, following the heart, following the soul, not necessarily following the head. And through that process, I'm able to get out and express into the world what I really am trying to express, rather than bulldozing through it. All right. Is there anyone who would like to come on live? I forgot to mention that you should be, popping in, and I totally forgot to mention that at the beginning. If you want to come on live, there's a link in our chat, and you can also send an email to kayaniproductions@gmail.com. Would love to have someone come on live and show me your cards. And in the meantime, I see there are some questions in here in the chat. So John, let me know where we're going.
We've got Try Red, always sturdy and true every week. His first card is the Queen of Cups, and the second card, the World for Me.
Okay, so Queen of Cups, what helps you? What's going to help you to apply more fairy magic into your life this week? Queen of Cups is beautiful. Queen of Cups symbolizes your psychic ocean of emotion. It's very connected to the sacral portal, the sacral chakra. So that's interesting that you pulled that in relation to our sacral portal chakra card here. And I feel like what this is basically saying is when you're applying more fairy magic into your life, it's about really understanding that I'm going to put some structure around how I'm feeling. That it's very easy for me to get bogged down in the what we deem as negative feelings, and I get too caught up in the negative feeling, and then I'm not able to allow some of that fairy energy to come into the mix. I'm not able to be more playful, or I'm not able to really embrace what's actually transpiring in this moment. Remember, everything is a gift. We want to be able to reap the rewards for what we sow. So for you, it's understanding that some structure needs to go into how you're feeling about your life, how you're feeling in that moment. When you put some structure around it, basically the structure is saying you're not going to, take me over. It's like you're building a break wall, right? And you're saying, okay, I see that you're there. I acknowledge you. But I'm not going to allow this feeling to change my choice to be happy, to change my ability to go within and access the strength that is the divine spark within me. So you're going to be applying some structure to how you are feeling and not allowing those feelings to capsize you. And then your second card, what was the second card, John?
I probably should unmute when I'm talking to you. The second card is the world for me.
Oh yeah, the world. So what card offers support to your inner child? So what a beautiful card to get. The world is the the end of the major arcana, or major arcana, tomato, in the tarot. And basically it symbolizes whatever particular aspect of your journey you've been on. You've come to the resolution, you've come to the end of that particular journey. You're getting ready to start a new journey, but in the meantime, you are stopping to smell the roses. You are reaping rewards for what you're sowing. So when we're talking about this offering support to your inner child, I feel like for you this week, the world is about basically saying to you, whatever inner child issues are presenting themselves, you get to call it done. You get to say to your inner child, you know what, we don't have to worry about this anymore. We don't have to dive into this, negative soup or this heaviness. We can add some fairy magic to this situation, and we can approach it differently. And by approaching it differently, we are understanding that there is the sum total of everything that we've learned, that your inner child, and I feel like this is specifically for you this week as well, your inner child is going to come to some level of healing and understanding on a particular issue that maybe you have struggled with for some time. So there's resolution. And this is how you can support your inner child, is by acknowledging the resolution, acknowledging the fact that you're coming to the end of something and you're saying, no more do I have to feel this, or acknowledge it, or go into it. Inner child, you are healed, and take my hand and we're going to move forward into doing something fun. We're co-creating as we go, and let's do it together. So you're going to be bringing your inner child along with you for the ride. I feel like that's really important. Thank you so much for submitting your tarot cards and your pulls. That's beautiful. Anyone else, John?
That is all we have for now. And do you have any events coming up?
I do. Thank you for reminding me. So before we wrap up, tonight is my Phoenix Rising event, and I love this event. I'm so excited about this event, and it's affordable, which is a great thing because we're all kind of in the soup right now financially. So it's very affordable. It is a burning ceremony at the beginning of the event so that we clear out whatever energies we've been kind of stuck in or haven't felt right, or they worked for us in April, but now it's time to release it. We make room for the new energies coming in May. Then I do a very in-depth card reading, and it's an oracle card reading. So you get to experience some oracle decks, and we tune into all sorts of things. Your situation with your love, your finances, your family, your friends, your work situation, your inner self. We tap into what you are going to be expecting in terms of your energy and what's transpiring there. And you get a whole card reading that we connect with together. And then I do 3 free readings while we are in the event. So you want to submit a question and you want to get a reading, and it's randomly chosen by my assistant, Marianne. And I just go in, I give you the answer to whatever that is. It can be about May, what's coming up for you, or it can be just a question that you want an answer to. And then I do a brief little channeling at the end, and off we go. It's an hour of your time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Goes from 7 to 8. And of course, brevity is not always my strong suit. So sometimes it's like 8:05, 8:10. But it's a lot of bang for the buck. Would love to have your energy there. Let's all rise together. Let's use these energies and rise together. It's going to be in the description. You'll be able to click on the link if you would like to join us tonight. Thank you so much, John, for reminding me of that. Thank you, everyone, for connecting, especially Try Red for submitting.
Hold on, Stacy, before Cynthia is going to join us, since we have a little bit of time. She's going to click the link and join us and get a card pull. And we haven't had her on, so I'm excited for her.
Yes. Yay. And I love that she's coming on live.
Right, just give us a couple seconds. And while she's coming, why don't you just go ahead and pull an old card for old Keone?
All right. Do you want a tarot or an oracle deck card?
I want to take an oracle.
All right. Let's do it.
See what faith has for me on this Monday.
I keep hearing the word reciprocity for you as well. Yeah, so you need to be looking at what you're putting out versus what you're receiving. I feel like that's a message for you this week. So the card that we pulled for you is isolation, loneliness, reconnection, and home. And interesting, it's also a number 7. So I feel like it's connected to some of the stuff that we talked about earlier today with the number 7. But I feel like the thing that stands out to me in this card here is reconnection. I feel like this week you need to take a little bit of time for yourself to reconnect with your high self, to reconnect with source. A lot of what you've been, I want to say, doing, producing, running into is a lot of head work. You're really structuring a lot of things. You've taken over. You've kind of taken control of things and forgotten that some of this can be in the flow of source, the flow of spirit. So this is a reminder to reconnect so that you don't have to feel all the time like you have to hold the whole world in your hands or carry the world on your shoulders. There's delegation in here as well, the energy of delegation. But mostly what I'm feeling is this is an inner shift. This is an inner change. And isolation simply means I need a little time that is not connected to anyone else or connected to me having to do anything for anyone else, so that I can get clear on what exactly is my purpose. What exactly is it that I am doing here? And then who do I want to invest my time and my energy into? Who do I want to delegate some things to, so that I am serving, people, but I'm serving people in a way that I'm still connected to my own energy. I really feel like there's a lot of messaging here for you around self-love and self-care. Your love cup's got a leak in it. And if you don't plug the leak, you're going to continuously put stuff in it, but it's going to just drain out the bottom. So you need to do a little bit of, I want to say, regroup within yourself. Doesn't mean you have to give up all the things that you do or stop giving to others. It's just a matter of kind of taking a break and maybe reevaluating how you are putting that out into the world. And you're going to do that by isolating, because what happens with you is you connect here and you connect there and you connect with this one, you connect with that one, you connect with the other one. You're not getting enough time to really connect with self and source. It's all these comments from everybody else around you. And that's what you absorb. And you start to make action steps based on other people's stuff, rather than what is it that I really feel? What is my inner guidance telling me about this next step? And sometimes what'll happen is you'll hear, oh, I'm not supposed to do this. But you're not hearing it right now because you are so focused on listening to this one, that one, the other one. You're on autopilot. So this is encouraging you to isolate a bit, reconnect with self, and then take steps to move forward. You'll have a lot more energy and you will have a lot more, I want to say, clear vision and direction.
I don't know what to say. My friends have been watching this and they asked, do you talk to her a lot? I say, honestly, I see her 2 minutes before we go on, and I talk to her for 2 minutes after we're off. And 3 times you've done my reading, and you've just said things to me that I haven't even talked to you about, but me and my friends talk about. So it just amazes me.
Well, I wish I could take credit for it. It's what comes through. But this too can be you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's exactly what this message is. It's reconnect and
Mhm.
you'll receive more of the information. Yeah, that is kind of funny. We've actually never met in person and we live in the same area. Never met in person. So yeah, it's funny
Awesome.
funny how that all rolls for sure. So do we have I
I
think you
don't know if she's having problems getting on, but I know we're wrapping up. So, Crystal, if you're having problems getting on, tune in next week, and I'll put you to the front of the line. Okay?
says that she's asking for a card pull, so I'm happy to do a quick little card pull. Okay.
I don't know if she's still on though, because she hasn't responded. And we're down to 2 viewers. Crystal, if you're still here, please say yes in the chat, and we'll do a card pull for you real quick.
I pulled the card anyway, so I'll just add it at the end. She can always watch it later.
Right.
If she's on. So Cynthia, what I pulled for you here is Page of Wands. And so you've got a wand card like me. So I feel like the pages are all about sort of making the plan. You get the idea, there's a lot of potential, and then it's about, okay, making the plan. What is the plan? How am I going to bring this idea, this inspiration to life? And so I feel like, sort of the question for you when you're asking a card pull, the answer is, I feel like this week you really want to be focusing on what your plan is, making a plan, understanding that you have a lot of ideas that are floating around, a lot of ideas that are coming through for you. You want to write them all down. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to enact all of them at this time, but you do want to give some consideration, because there is one that wants to come to fruition sooner than the others. And I feel like when we connect with that and we're talking about Page of Wands, that's saying pay attention to that energy, because that's the one that you're going to start first. And that's the clue. Sometimes you get so many ideas, you don't really know where to start. The clue is, there's one that's standing out to me. That's the one that I want to formulate a plan for before I move forward. I'm also really drawn in this particular picture to all of the beautiful little foxes that are around her, sort of around her feet. And I feel like the fox energy, we think about foxes oftentimes as scavengers, but really what they are is they are opportunists, because they take advantage of what's in my now, what's in my moment. And right now, they're all around her as she's playing a musical instrument, and she's in her energy, she's in her mode, she's living her truth and sort of singing the song or playing the song of her soul. And the opportunists are enjoying that. They're saying, it doesn't matter what else is going on. We're going to focus on listening to this particular, tune of the soul. I feel like the message for you is that there are a lot of people who can support you and can listen to you and take advantage of you singing or playing your soul song at this time. So find ways this week to connect with your soul song and to sing it or to play it. Put it out into the world. Make it part of the plan, because the soul song wants to be realized. That's what the inspiration is. You want to listen to that and make a plan to be able to bring it out into the world. Thank you so much for asking for the card pull. I'm sorry we didn't get you on live. Maybe next week. Would love to be able to do that. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Sending everyone so much love. Be safe, be well this week, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, John.